What's up, good people? Welcome to the Dove Square podcast, where we talk about whatever, whenever. I'm Reggie. I'm here with my friend Autrina. Hey, Autrina. How are you this? How are you
Hey,
doing?
hey, Reg. I'm wonderful. How are you?
You just won't do right.
I know.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It's because I was mocking you while you were
I
talking.
can't I can't wait to do a video version so people can see all these faces that you make while I'm trying to
Uh-uh,
do the
'cause
intro.
I'm gonna act right. I'm gonna be on my best behavior. We know
Okay.
that won't last long. But no, I'm good, Reg. How are you doing today?
I'm well. It's been a trying week, but I am yet still here.
I heard that.
Yet still here, like the saints say.
You blessed and highly favored.
Blessed and highly favored, always blessed. Blessed by the best, better than I deserve. You amen, 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 and amen.
Amen.
All right, praise break time. Let's go. Go, praise break. I think this is a result. All this is a result of the quarantine. We already silly. I think this quarantine is definitely added to that. But yeah, man, my week's been good. Started my new job. Been working from home, which is gonna be the norm, but it's gonna take some adjusting. It's gonna take some adjusting, which is something we're gonna get into in a bit here. But overall, good week. Um, I would say no complaints, but that'd be a lie. But made it through. What
Good.
did you do? What did you do this week? Do you remember this time?
Yeah, I actually do. Well, the first part of the week, I feel like I had some appointments or something
You
like that.
did. I should tell you about your week every week.
You should. Okay, so tell me about my week. Go ahead.
So you had some appointments. You did have a few appointments. Um, so that was the main thing. And then a few days ago, you packed up and headed down to your hometown of Flomaton, Alabama.
That's right.
And that's where you are currently recording this. We're using Squadcast again since we're doing this remotely. Shout out to Squadcast for enabling us to do this. It's a great, great product. If you or anybody you know is looking to do a podcast and there's some times where you'll either need to record your regular episodes remotely, or if you're going to be doing interviews with folks, Squadcast is a great product. So shout out to them. But yeah, that's what you did this week.
You are absolutely right. I packed up and came on down to Flomaton,
The Flomaton metro area.
the Flomaton Metro. I'm on the south side of Flomaton. Okay, I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, I came down to.
Flomaton's so small. You on all sides of Flomaton.
You know what? It's Thomasville too. So whatever. Why we always got to compare Thomasville and Flomaton?
There
it's
really
like
is no
it's
comparison.
like it's a,
Really,
what?
there's no
It's the
comparison.
same.
Okay,
Y'all have the
so
MLK. Y'all have a
everybody
main
does.
street.
Everybody does. Where the black people
Y'all have
are at?
one main street.
That's where the
Y'all
black
got a
people are. The black
couple
people are on
gas
MLK.
stations.
A couple. Anyways,
But yeah, that was my week. Came out to my parents. I've been enjoying it here, social
always
distancing, whatever. We'll get into that later as well.
shout out to them.
To who? To my parents?
Yeah, to your
Oh,
parent.
shout out to y'all. They in the other room.
Oh my gosh. Will they listen to the podcast?
No.
You know what? I don't think my mama listens to the podcast.
I would expect your mom to listen to it.
Boy,
I can see
hold
my parents
on.
not
Should
listening
have
to it, but
asked
I would
about it.
expect your mom.
Should have asked about it. Oh, we gotta handle that.
I'm
But
about to call
anyway,
and ask her.
anyways, I just thought about that.
No, baby, I ain't
But
listened
yeah,
to it yet, but Imma listen to it. Imma listen
she'll
to
listen to it if you ask. But anyways,
it.
ugh. But yeah, this week we're gonna discuss a couple things. And who knows, these conversations go wherever they go. So we may talk about some other stuff also. But the two things to know that I want to discuss was working from home because I started doing that this week, which is my second venture in working from home, but a bit different this time because I actually have work to do. The last time I worked from home, it was just I
Simple.
was working like 4 hours a week. It was too good to be true and turned out to be too good to be true.
Really, exactly,
We should
exactly.
share that story one day.
One
I'm gonna
day,
share
yeah,
that story that we didn't make a note of that. That's a full episode for that. That might be
yeah,
a bonus
we
episode,
yeah,
honestly.
yeah.
But yeah, just working from home is a different beast. I know some people listening probably have done some teleworking where they work at home once or twice a week or something like that. But I don't know how many people work exclusively from home. But it's definitely a different beast, and you have to approach it like work. and it's a bit hard to do because you're at home, and there's we like to have that separation there, and it's you have to be very intentional about separating those things when working from home. So
I've worked from
yeah,
home a few times too. Now that I
yeah,
think about it, yeah. Like, when I first moved to Atlanta, I was doing a job from home, and I've worked claims from home. I did some other job from home, but yeah, just thought about that. But we'll get into that.
yeah. We can go ahead and let's do it now.
Let's
Let's go
do
ahead and move. Let's move
it.
into this first topic of working from home. So I scoured the internet for some good articles on tips.
Scoured.
I scoured
That's the
them.
perfect term for right now, because it's
Yeah,
kinda
it
like
is.
it's kinda like,
You need to be
like
scouring them
the
hands.
apocalypse or something.
Is that right?
It's very
What does scour
no,
mean?
no, friend.
What does scour mean?
No,
How do you spell
scouring is
scour?
like when you're out looking for stuff and hunting, right? When I hear scouring, that's what I think. That's why I was like, it feels like we're in a, apocalypse and,
No,
like,
'cause like a scouring pad, like a
what's a
mesh
scouring
pad, like
pad?
a mesh pad, yeah. This so
I
scouring
think
is
those are called Brillo pads.
well, that's like Clorox, so it's a brand.
Brillo is the brand?
Yeah, Brillo is
I
the
thought that
brand.
material that they're made out of is the Brillo.
No, this like a metal. It's like a metal mesh or a plastic mesh. So yeah, it's like a wire mesh. So you learned something today.
I'm so confused.
So scouring is like cleaning or
So what is the
some
word I'm looking for then?
I don't know scavenging. I don't know, girl.
Did you know
Anyways,
that scavenging, that's what I'm thinking, but did you know that scour is diarrhea in livestock, especially cattle and pigs? That's what it
wow.
says. Yeah, no, scour. Okay, scour is a verb. I guess the one you're talking about is a verb as well, but scour to what? I think they skipped the word here. A thorough search in order to locate something.
So yeah, I used it right with that. Then I
Yeah,
scoured the
but you
internet,
also used it right with the cleaning because
scouring
you're
pad.
yeah, because it means clean or brighten the surface of by rubbing it hard, typically with an abrasive or detergent, but I never knew that those soap pads were called scouring pads or whatever.
Learn something. See, that's what happens when you're at home and you can't go out and get in these streets. You sometimes you reflect on some things and you learn some stuff.
I don't
So
know, friend, because when we're riding down the road, we'll say something and Google it too. So when we in these
scouring,
streets when we in these streets,
the
we
word
do
of the day,
stuff.
scouring,
Scouring.
scouring,
Not scouring, scouring.
scouring. So I did a search on the internet and
Thank
found
thank
a
thank
great
you.
article. Y'all just bear with us today. Stick with us. Stay around. We gonna get to the point at some point. But y'all, I mean, if you've been listening, you already know. So hey. But I found a great article from Zen on zenhabits.net that listed 30 tips for staying productive and sane while working from home. And I read through that and I just picked out. I'm gonna put a link in the show notes as always, but I'm just gonna go through the ones that stuck out to me, and we can have discussion around those, or you can just listen to me and whatever you want to do. You can chill out, kick your feet up, Trina. Let me do the work for the first half of the show. Whatever you want to do, friend.
You can do it for the second half too.
Okay, that sounds good. All right.
I'll
So
signal to you when I wanna say something. I'll be like,
okay. So we're gonna get into this a bit. So and these are not some tips that I've already adopted. I mean, I've just been winging it this past week, honestly. Just kind of sitting back, observing, trying to settle in and trying to get used to this, but it's gonna take some adjusting. But the first tip that's listed on this article is define your spaces, separate work from home. Have a room dedicated to working. Don't do it wherever you happen to be. Set aside some space, probably a room. It doesn't have to be big to be your workspace. That way, when you enter it, you know consciously what you're there to do. Go to work. So that's the first thing, which that's going to be a challenge for me because my desk is where I play typically and also do work. So that's going to be a bit of a challenge.
what about your second disc? Would you use that one?
It's time to retire that desk. I had some
Uh,
issues over there.
okay.
So it's out of commission.
I do think that that's a very good tip because obviously, but yeah, because especially now that people aren't really able to go out like they want to, um, like you do need separation there because it's like, okay, work's over now. I'm still sitting here on the couch with my computer or still sitting at the table with my computer or whatever, you know what I mean? So it's not really a break in there. So it's kind of like no separation. So it can get frustrating and it can get repetitive.
Yeah, you just know it's that whole thing. Like maybe I should create a little badge for myself and like go badge out and all that. Cause that used to be my favorite part of the day when I was working.
Let me
Hitting that
create your
badge,
badge. Let me create your badge.
go ahead.
Okay.
So hitting that badge at the end of the day, okay, that was just boys, nothing like that. No feeling like that. Tip number two: set regular hours and stick to the schedule. Which that requires a great deal of discipline, because it's easy to wake up, look at your phone. Oh, there's a message there. Let me reply to that email. So you're technically working in bed, but you don't really get your day started till you get out of bed. So you set those hours and you get up and you get ready and you go into your workspace and you get the day started rather than trying to start doing work from home. Bed is for rest, and then everything work related should be in that space, I feel.
Right. Yeah. And also because if you think about it, like when you're in bed, you don't really want to like stress about things. And if you're stressing about work while you're sitting in bed, kind of just
Yeah,
disturbs your place of peace,
yeah,
you know?
that's a place of rest and peace and solace. And yeah, and I mean, and I think we all have an issue with separating a lot of things, not just work. We don't even see, boy, like I know my brain takes over at night sometimes. So I think that's something that could be applied to just separating, life from that space, mentally also. But, that's another conversation for another time.
Yeah, and let me go back to the first tip that you said. It made me think about this meme that I saw. It said, something to the extent of, "When my when when my company asks me if I'm well equipped to work remotely and I say yes," and the guy I don't know if you've seen this one, but the guy is sitting on the floor, his computer is on the floor with him, he doesn't have a mouse pad, he's just using his carpet, and it's just a hot mess, but, like, you don't wanna say no because then they're gonna be like, "You
Yeah.
need to come in to work."
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
hilarious. I'll see if I can find it.
Yeah, I'm well equipped no matter what. I got my computer, I got Wi-Fi, everything else don't matter. I get that.
Right, I was like, "Dang, he ain't got a coffee table or
Nothing.
dinner table, nothing." But yeah,
Okay. Next
number 3.
tip is keep your desk and general work area tidy. A tidy workspace helps keep a tidy mind, which helps make you more productive. My desk is a fool right now. So, and that was before working from home. So even like gaming, there'll be times I'll be like, this is just terrible. Like I'm getting confused while, trying to play Call of Duty.
It's interesting though because what I you should take a picture of this because a lot of times I guess what he means is that is messy for him because
Yeah.
I'll look at his desk and I'm like, "This desk is not a mess." Like, you should see my desk. This desk is perfect, but I get that you're saying that it's messy for you.
Yeah. It's more for like what I'm used to. So I definitely need to fix that. I also want to get a new keyboard because this keyboard is taking up too much space. But that's I mean, and I'm not making an excuse of why I'm not tightening up my desk. Like I gotta wait until I get a new keyboard. But nah, but it would definitely help if I had a new keyboard. So hey, y'all want to cash out me? Reggie White, hit that cash out. Apple stores are closed, but the website's still open. All right. The next the next one in the list is keep 3 lists of 3. Yeah, no, yeah. Keep 3 lists of 3. The first list has 3 things you will do today. The second is 3 things you'd like to get done but aren't essential. The third is 3 things that you need to get done at some point. That way, when you trog through your day's work, you don't end up sitting twiddling your thumbs. I think that's a good practice. I mean, for me, I got plenty of stuff that I need to do. Um, so I won't be done twiddling my thumbs at the end of the day currently, but I do think that's a good system to have in place, or just any type of to-do list. But I think that's a pretty good one to adopt. Also, no comments on that one. Okay, cool. Let's move on to the next one. All right, don't go back to work when you
I'm
finish.
still confused about the 3 for 3 for 3.
It's like
Sorry, it made me think
so
about
it's
the phone
basically
policy.
like you have a list with three different sections.
Okay.
That's it.
Must
Okay.
do, would like to do, and I guess something else to do.
Yeah, it's like things you will do. So it's what you plan to do. The second is three things you like to get done, but they aren't essential. And the third are three things that need to be done at some point. So it's basically like today, short term, long term type deal, I guess.
Okay, that's definitely something that I'll be doing.
Yeah, okay.
And for those of you
Yeah.
who can't see me,
She's
I'm
not doing
really
that.
shaking my head no.
All right.
That's
Next tip. Don't go back to work when you finish. Had a great idea for a post? Fantastic. Write down the basics on a note and pin it up. Don't go back to work when you finished, which I think is harder to do, of course, when you're working from home. Because when I tell you, I've never wanted to circle back and go back to work. Um, to work, I can't remember a time. Even when I worked at Apple and I loved everybody
nice
there, I never
comparison.
wanted to circle back.
Yeah,
you know.
that's a really nice comparison
hmm So you just hey, when you off, and then you start all up the next day.
because then that'll cut into your hours that you've set
hmm
and really taking the time for you and relaxing and things like that. So that's I think that's a really good one. That's really a really good
Yeah,
comparison as well.
I feel like most of this, most of the things in this list, really, the thing just being stressed is boundaries. That's the biggest thing. That's
Right, yeah,
boundaries.
I agree.
All right. So next tip is no turning on the computer for a quick email to check or to do one little thing until you've gotten ready for work. That's kind of going back to the thing of like having that separate space and having those regular hours. Like don't pick up your phone. Maybe pick up your phone. It's like, okay, what's going on? Blah blah blah. Even that you probably shouldn't do because you're technically working from the bed at that point. But if you are going to do that, be very disciplined. Be like a 5 minute review. Okay, this is what I got to do. Boom, get up and start your day. So that's definitely something I'm gonna have to work on because my team we communicate through Microsoft Teams and text message, email. So I can look up and see like, okay, this is what this person's doing today. This is what that person's doing today, and then it's kind of like, okay, well, what am I doing? Okay, well, I'm doing this. I can start on it from my phone, but then I end up staying right there for too long. And this is week one, so yeah, I need to adjust that immediately.
Mhm.
So yeah, just no turning on the computer for a quick email because typically anything you talk about it's just gonna take a second to do. You're gonna be there 30 minutes to an hour later. So
Right, and then
just
if you're assigned to go ahead, I'm sorry.
no, just get up. That's the
Yeah,
biggest thing. Get out of bed.
yeah, and then if you're assigned to, like, work IM, you stand a chance of people starting to send you IMs, and if you don't, like, if you're not a person that'll be like, "I'm not about to respond to this right now."
Yeah, it's kind of like whack a mole. You whack a mole, trying to knock this message out, knock that message out, and then you look up, two
Yeah.
hours pass, and you hadn't even started working on what you need to work on. So
Right, which also goes back to setting your hours too, because you, may set your hours and then people start to IM you again or asking you for things because they feel like since you're not in the office, you're right there, that you should be available to do whatever, but that's not so, you know what I mean? So again, it's about boundaries.
yeah, for sure. Because I mean, you wouldn't be at your desk at work if you weren't ready to work. So, and just another analogy. So you don't walk in, you don't walk and sit down at your desk before you clock in. At least I never did. I don't know who doing that out there. I'm saying like in a traditional workplace, you
Oh,
wouldn't walk and sit down at your desk and not be on the clock. So if you're not on the clock, don't appear that you're on the clock type deal.
yeah, I get
All
you.
right. So set boundaries for those around you as well. Schedule your work time and make sure the kids and spouse know that you're unavailable for playing, chores, etc. during this time. I live alone. My son doesn't even know what boundaries are when it comes to calling me, so that's out. But if he was here, like when I was working from home before, it was great because he did get to come up here and stay the entire summer. And if I was on a call, I'd be like, "Hey, bud, I'm about to get on a call," and he respected that. So yeah, just set boundaries for those around you. Friends may feel like that they can reach out to you because hey, you just working from home. No, if you're going to be working, they'll like let people know, hey, I'm working on this, and let them know that you're unavailable for anything outside of an emergency at that time. So yeah, just set those boundaries. Again, like all this is about boundaries and discipline. That's what it's surrounding, which are two struggles for a lot of folks.
Yeah, no, I agree. I had a friend, she couldn't understand why people would take their kids to daycare when they're working from home. And I was trying to explain to her, like, for instance, when my sister works from home, she has a lot of calls. Like, because I guess in theory, people think working from home means that you're just doing whatever. That's not the case. Like, with one of my jobs, well, 2 of my jobs when I was working from home, I could do whatever, but then there was also a position that I had working from home. I could not, like, talk or, like, do whatever I wanted to while I was working that particular job. I needed to be attentive, and I think most people have a probably a lot of people who don't work from home obviously have a misunderstanding of what working from home entails because it's not sometimes, depending on the job, it is a thing of, like, if you can manage your time, or you don't have to be on phone calls or whatever, so it could be easier than for other people, and then for some people, it's back-to-back calls or, things like that, but I always thought it was funny that she did, like, she couldn't understand that, and I'd be like, "Girl, you just don't know, like,
Mhm.
you ain't got time
And
to be trying to
outside of the
feed
fact that they
kids and"
paying for daycare too, like let's talk
Yeah,
about that.
well, that too, that too.
Outside of the fact they're paying for daycare, they're like, if you're working, you want to be working. You don't want to be mommy and working or being dad and working. So I get that. It's all about boundaries, y'all, and also keeping with a schedule for you and the kids.
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah.
shoot, even then, even if it was easy, like, I knew I was gonna have an easy day, I may still wanna take my kids to daycare just because sometimes parents I'm not a parent, but I know that parents need breaks. Like, my parent friends tell me that all the time. I have nephews that I keep. Parents need breaks.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I've been very blessed to have a great village and support system. So I really can't speak to all the struggles that a lot of parents deal with, but I can definitely empathize because that child of mine is something else sometimes. His personality is a bit, I don't know. Great kid, love him to death, but he is something sometimes. That's all I can say. He got it honest, I guess, but
Child,
like,
basically.
yeah, today he called and I'm just like it got to a point I was like, "Is there anything I can help you? Anything else I can help you with?" Like I just had to ask, like I have to approach it like a customer service call. Because he called me for
Yeah.
something. I provided the solution, and he's still sitting there, and it wasn't going to be on his time, basically. So he was kind of like, "Okay," and I'm like, "Well, what's the problem?" It is just like nothing. It's just like, just I'm like, "Is there anything I can help you? Anything else I can help you with today?" Okay, please answer the survey after the call. Like, so I definitely get it.
Yeah.
Parents need a break. And then if you're working, you want to just be focused on that. You might be working on something that's high stress. You don't want to add to that stress by having a little one come tugging at you, or they need to eat, or or they have siblings and they want to fight with the siblings. Like, so I'm all about it. If you paying for that daycare, you working from home does not mean like, oh, okay, well, the folks at the daycare get a day off. They're not working from home. They working at the daycare.
Yeah.
So kids go to the daycare.
Friend,
Uh,
we've got to post the video of the man he's on a work conference call via video, and, I don't know what he's doing. I don't remember exactly what he was doing, but he was on video call for work, and, like, his door flew open, and, like, a child ran in, and then a child like, this child just ran in. So the second child was in a walker, and she came bouncing in. And then I don't know if this lady was, like, the wife, the girlfriend, the nanny, I don't know. But
Oh,
she came
no,
running in, like, trying to
no, I think this was like
a
a
news anchor.
news a
Yes,
news
that's what it
interview,
was.
like an
That's
interview on
what
the
it
news,
was.
yeah,
Yes.
and he just kept on I think he didn't miss a beat, he just kept on doing
Yeah.
the interview.
And then he
I
was just
remember
like
that.
he did, like, this thing where he was just, "Oh my gosh," like, you could tell that he was kinda a little embarrassed, which, like, the world, we think that's funny, we don't we're okay with it, but to him, like, that's work. There's no telling how he reacted. He could've been really cool about it, he could've been upset, we don't know. We don't really care.
That's a
But,
lot though,
um, yeah,
on live
but
TV.
yeah.
I remember that.
Yes, it popped up the other day and I watched it and I thought it was hilarious, so I can send you that
Try
too.
to find that.
Yeah, I got it, I can send it to you.
Alright, cool, and that will be in the show notes like everything else, y'all.
Yeah.
And I might do a little tutorial on how to find the show notes on the respective apps because one of my friends hit me up. It's like, you talked about the stuff you said in the show notes. I don't know where the show notes are. So I'm gonna address that pretty soon. Might do a little tutorial and throw it on Instagram or something like that.
Yeah,
But
'cause I
that's
mean,
just
some of them are easy to find depending on
hmm
what you're listening on, but some not so much.
then also might just move it to the site also. Well, not move it to the site, but also have pages for it on the site where you can find them easier too. So that's something else I've considered. But yeah, moving on to the next
What number are we
one.
on?
Hmm?
What number? Oh, it's no number, okay.
8, 9, something. Anyways, the next one is basically an attitude of gratitude, which I think is very important. It's something I've been failing at. Say thank you a lot. Figure out who the people who have helped you in your blog or business the most. If you're a blogger, that's the readers, not the people who gave you mentions on their blogs. The people who have given you their time and energy to helping you get where you are. You owe your life from this point on to them. Make sure they know you're grateful. And I think this is something we could practice in life, period. Just being thankful for what you have and the people you have around you. Because especially in these trying times, we found that tomorrow's not promised, and people are leaving here every day. And like the pastor say, people dying and they never died before. So
They say
be
your boy
grateful.
said that the other day.
Who?
45.
Oh yeah, I think he probably hanging around some African Americans. As he say, he probably hanging around his African American. But
Anyway,
anyways, anyway, that look at my African American.
Look at my African American over here. Look at him.
But anyways, so just having an attitude of gratitude, and that's not even just working from home. It's just period. Because I feel like there was a time in my life where I practiced gratitude every single day, and I really believe it changes the energy. It changes your blessings. It changes your mindset. So just having an attitude of gratitude is something you can practice regardless of where you are in life and what you're doing, where you're working from. Doesn't matter. So I definitely had to list that one because it jumped out at me. It's the first sentence, say thank you a lot, jumped out at me. Um, and then the next tip is the same thing about being grateful. Be grateful you're working from home and not in some cubicle. That gratitude will motivate you to work harder so you can continue to work from home. And that's something I like. You need to sometimes we need to flip things on their head. So my first experience with working from home wasn't the greatest. So when I approached this, it was kind of that bit of, kind of like, I don't know how it's going to be type deal. So, a lot of times in your life, what you have to do rather than approaching it as a burden, you have to approach it as a blessing. So that's something that, you can practice. Just be grateful that you have the ability to work from home. As we know, just with everything going on with this pandemic, a lot of folks don't have jobs anymore because they weren't in jobs where they could work from home or companies couldn't cover keeping them on board. So if you have a job that's been moved to you working remotely, be thankful you still got that job. Show up and show out. The check ain't promised just like tomorrow. So keep it moving, do your thing. We're gonna make it through this. Everything be back to normal. And then in 6 months or wherever, you can talk about how you wish you was working from home because you're back at the office.
right.
So so um then I had one bonus one because I wanted to stick with 10
Mhm.
and I had a bonus one.
Okay.
And the bonus was this here. This is the bonus here.
I feel like
Be
there should be
careful.
some kind of, like, tone or, like, sound for the bonus, no? No?
What you
Okay.
talking about, Willis? What you talking about, Willis?
I don't know. When I hear bonus, I just think, like, some
Okay.
Just go.
All
Just
right.
go.
Well,
Just go.
anyway, speaking of having some type of sound or sound effect for the bonus, this is actually surrounding sound. So cool. Be careful what music you listen to while you work. Music, TV, the weather, just about everything will influence your mood. Some you can't change, some you can. Make sure that you surround yourself with things that will give you the best frame of mind for whatever you're about to do. And something I want to mention surrounding that is Chill Cow on YouTube. I had seen this plenty of times in the past. It's like a 24/7 YouTube channel, always live streaming music. I never really listened to it, but on one of my favorite podcasts, the Friend Zone podcast, Hey Friend Hey mentioned it a few weeks back. And it's lo-fi hip hop radio. And it's just, I don't know. It's you just need to experience it. I feel like it puts you in just this. I don't know. It increases my focus because it's just good music, good feel good music, no lyrics. Just I don't know.
It's instrumentals.
Yeah, it's instrumentals and it's just like real chill. I mean, hence the name Chill Cow. I don't know what a cow comes in, but it's just I don't know. It's something you got to experience. I can't really put it into words, but I'm gonna put a link to that in the show notes. If you work from home, or if you're doing any type of work at all, or if you just have moments where you just need to chill out, you want to light some incense, maybe put this on. You cook and put this on. It's just. I don't know the psychology behind it, but just take my word for it. Basically,
I mean, I may wanna listen to some Bang Bang Shoot 'Em Up.
you
Maybe
may
that's how I chill.
that might work, but
But no, it could be
the,
some psychology behind it because like,
yeah,
with the kids songs like Baby Shark and stuff,
hmm
there's a reason why those kids like those songs, so
yeah.
that
So
could be
it's
related.
it's definitely worth checking out. But yeah, and that concludes. Like I said, there are 30 tips on this list. I didn't want to run through all 30, but there will be a list, and that's on ZenHabits.net. Leo Babauta, that's his website, and he's big on mindfulness and meditation, things of that nature. So when I saw that this article was on his website, I already knew it was going to be a good one. So, and I knew there was going to be something about being grateful and things of that nature, just because I read some of his content years ago. So definitely give that a read. I was going to say give that a listen, give that a read. um, and then there's other people that have posted, like PC Mag updated their remote working, and I'm sure BuzzFeed has some because they always do,
Mhm.
and then probably Life Hacker, which I hadn't checked out in a long time, but I know they had articles in the past, so I'm sure they have some now. But yeah, that concludes that, and then we're gonna move on to social distancing because that's something we've been hearing. If you've been listening to the news, you've been hearing it. If you've been on social media, you've been seeing it. Um, so I just want to take a moment and talk about, first we can talk about what social distancing is. I guess it's in the name, and then just wanted to get your take on, or get your thoughts on it and what your experiences have been since this whole thing kicked off and social distancing became a big buzzword.
Okay.
So, social distancing, what is it? What is social distancing? Oh, that was a
Oh,
question for you.
I thought you had that I thought you had the definition or something.
Oh, we can find a
Yeah,
definition.
let me Google the definition. Social
And apparently it's always been a thing, but I never heard of it.
yeah.
Okay, I got it. So, social distancing or physical distancing is a set of non pharmaceutical infection control actions intended to stop or slow down the spread of a contagious disease. There's a lot more after that, but that's the gist of it, right? So,
Well, also this one says too, the practice of maintaining a greater than usual physical distance from other people or avoiding direct contact. So I think those 2 together explains it perfectly.
yeah, so that's what social distancing is, y'all. And that's something we've been practicing. Health officials started out by
Some
saying,
people have been practicing it.
yeah, some people. we got a lot of spring breakers that just YOLOing it up, and they gonna find out that once is a lot sooner than they intended.
By the way by the way, I actually saw an article that said that, spring breakers, college students that had been to the beaches in Florida, some of them have tested positive for.
Of course. Of course. And then was this whole thing that, oh well, the biggest threat for them is going to be spreading it to those with weaker immune systems and older folk, things of that nature. But there's been cases of people who were relatively healthy, physically fit, and they're still going through it. So no one is immune to it, and just because you might be young and vibrant and wild and free does not mean that it won't take you up out of here.
Right, and here's
So
another thing, a lot of people have underlying illnesses that they don't know about,
absolutely.
and because that's been some of the case, like, people don't know this. I think this one guy didn't know that he had leukemia, so stuff like that. Excuse me, but I do think that this is definitely showing people's selfishness, because even
Absolutely.
even if you, like, don't buy into the hype, which is okay. I don't buy into the hype of stuff a lot of the times, but that does not mean that you have to be careless, you know?
You got to be smart out here, folk.
Mhm.
But as I was saying, excuse me, health officials started out by no gatherings of 100 folks, then no gathering of 25 folks. Now it's no gatherings of 10 folks. Now I'm like, let's just keep it as close to zero as possible. As
Right,
possible.
and actually it was 250 to start with, so they tried, and people were like, "No, we're still gonna do what we wanna do," because people be peopling,
Yep.
and that's when they moved it to and even I saw that even in one of the, like, one of the press conferences when it was moved to 100. Excuse me, the guy was like, "Well, we tried to do 250, to give people a chance, but people didn't wanna abide by that, and they wanted to do what they wanted to do. So now we're gonna move it to 100."
Yep. And then had to move it lower than that. And then again, something I heard on the friend zone, because that's one of the podcasts I listen to religiously. It was somebody had posted a tweet. Dustin talked about somebody posting a tweet, right? So officials were on stage talking about, like, okay, we're gonna discourage gatherings of people, of any gatherings over 10 people. And the person simply tweeted this photo and said, there are 16 people in this photo. It's funny to me. It's
I
funny
don't
to
get
me.
it. Maybe I missed something. It was a
Okay, let
photo
me let
from
me
it was
let me
a
let me
I said a
back up.
photo. It was a
Let me
photo from that from the
from the
where
press conference about
okay,
having no gatherings of more than 10 people, and it was 16
gotcha.
people in the
Yeah,
photo.
gotcha.
So, which is funny, but we you have to find the humor in things
Yeah.
sometimes. But yeah, right now as it stands, no gatherings of more than 10 folks.
Mhm,
um and that was something that I think even in Birmingham, um, they moved that number before it was moved on a federal level or national level.
mhm,
Um, but one thing I did want to mention is this couple who got married and here in Birmingham, Alabama, and they practiced social distancing at their wedding. Originally it was supposed to be in, just a normal wedding, whatever normal is, and a good many people were supposed to be there. But what they did is they changed some things up. It was originally scheduled for the 21st. They moved it up to the 19th, and they had 25 folks there, and they live streamed it for the rest of their family. And they even tried to have fun with it. Everybody was kind of standing 3 to 6 feet apart from each other. Even the kiss was a bit of an air kiss. So it
mhm.
was just, I thought was
At
kind
least
of
a kiss
kind
for
of
the picture.
funny. Say again.
At least a kiss for the picture.
Yeah, the kiss for the picture. I mean, I'm sure
Why did they,
there was no social distancing later that night. You know what I'm saying? But anyways,
why did they change the date? Did they say why they changed the date?
I think I don't. They didn't talk about why, but I think it was just in anticipation of things getting worse.
Mhm,
Because even that day, the day of the wedding, they actually moved that number from 25 to 10 on
mhm,
that same day.
mhm.
So you
Okay.
know, kudos to them, I guess, for moving that number.
I
So
saw something. I saw a post that was like, "For those of you who had weddings planned and they're getting canceled, you are getting a second chance to make sure that this is what you really need to do."
hey.
Which that's real. Like, I laugh we laugh about it, but that's real because some people get married and they should not be
Hmm. So
married
here's
up
coronavirus to really get you to think
to
about
really
whether or
get you
not.
to think about.
Also, I feel like this whole, the social distancing, and the, you know, they're encouraging folks to stay at home. I think that's really, I don't know, some people might be struggling with some things at home right now because they're
Yeah,
forced to stay at home with their partners. And people have been talking about that. Like one of my frat brothers in there posted something about like, you use the gym to get away from your spouse. Now you got to work out at home. Good luck to you. Like, and I mean, I think just being around somebody more frequently than normal, it's gonna take some adjustment. So shout out to all the couples that's getting to know each other again.
do you think it should be that big of a issue, though, if you're a married
Oh
couple?
no, 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 no. I mean, I would not want that to be because I mean, but for me, I like being, when I'm with somebody, that's quality time, one of my love languages. So, but but as I talked about previously, when we were speaking before we started recording, a lot of times it's the restriction that's put on you that really gets to you. Because as you know, I don't go out a lot. I mean, I love being at home, but then when there's this whole thing looming over saying like, oh well, you can't go out or you shouldn't go out, all of a sudden, like, oh, I need to go for a drive. I need to get out of this house. You know what I mean? So I think, you know, anybody that's in a relationship and is having to stay at home more with the family, you're just gonna have to navigate that and really try to figure out, where's that coming from? Is it really coming from like you really don't like being around your family like that, or is it just that restriction that's placed on you? But we all need time to ourselves, and communication is key. And like with most human relationships, communication is key. Communication is key, and like I get irritable sometimes. Just and this has nothing to do with this pandemic or anything, but I get really irritable sometimes, and I've learned that I need to communicate that
Mhm.
because I've literally had to where I just want somebody to just shut up, and they're not talking about anything. Like they're not even really annoying me. Really, they're talking, just having general conversation that we always have. But I just get irritable, so I have to step back. Like, hey, I can't really talk right now, and folks close to me understand that. So just communicate with folks. Be like, hey, you need to go in another room, or whatever you need to do, because we all have to do our part. Because I mean, you don't want to kill each other and then this pandemic blow over and then you be like, dang.
Social distancing for real.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's real social
2
distancing.
2 to a cell, 4 to a cell,
Mhm.
I mean but also, let's take a second because I think what we wanna do is we don't wanna get too deep into things because this conversation can go on for a while, but I do wanna point out that we do understand that some like, with the whole social distancing and the self-quarantine and the for some states, mandatory stay at home, you do we we don't wanna act like we are blind to the fact that home isn't the safest place for some people, for some
Absolutely.
kids,
Yeah.
for some adults because of maybe domestic violence or, you don't have enough to eat. So we are not oblivious to that, and we do wanna take a moment to just acknowledge that right now. Take a
That's a great
second,
point. Yeah, that's a
and then
real
now
that's a
we can
great
get back
point.
yeah, now we can get back to to this. But, excuse me, how do so how have you talked about how it's affected you, social distancing?
I mean, I just touched on it a bit, just a few minutes ago, just saying that, I'm good with being at home and being here by myself, but
Yeah.
when there are restrictions placed on me, it's like, oh, I want to be social now, and I think that's the case for a lot of people. I've seen memes, of course, memes are going to run rampant during times like these, which we need to try to find the humor
Yeah.
in situations, but it's just like you tell. I think it was our friend Bianca yesterday. I was speaking with her, and she was like, this pandemic has introverts out here like, hey man, I want to go out here and like just what it was like lick a trough of strippers or something like that. Like it was like something really extreme. It was foolish, but it's like that when
Yeah.
a restriction is putting on you, then all of a sudden you want to do that. So it's just, but for me, that's just been it. And I did go out, take a little drive the other night. Last night I went looking for some honey buns. If anybody, people that know me, know I'm like a honey bun aficionado. Got
Mhm.
me some Hostess honey
Don't
buns.
bring him the wrong honey buns because he'll look at you like you're crazy.
I have a picture saved in my phone of the ones I prefer, just so there's no
I feel like
confusion.
I've brought you honey buns before and you just didn't eat them, and I
Here's
ended
the
up
biggest thing. Here's the biggest thing. Don't ever bring me in the Little Debbie's. You bring me some Little Debbie's, we might lose friendship.
But here's the thing,
Straight
okay,
up.
so you rather not have any than to have
I'd
the
rather not have any honey buns than to eat Little Debbie's. Even during this pandemic, I just want to eat a honey bun. That's how I struggle I feel
with
about it.
honey buns and bologna. I'm just kidding.
See,
I'm joking.
whoa,
I'm joking.
whoa,
We're not gonna talk
whoa. We about to shift
about
gears for real. Now you talking about that foolishness.
let's not talk about it.
Woo, Lord.
I'll check. If y'all wanna hear about honey buns and bologna, let us know, and we will discuss it next time.
You'll be doing that episode by yourself.
I
I ain't
might
with
do
it.
some honey bun and bologna when we do our live episode.
You just need to do a bonus episode on that. And I don't even want to edit it. I'll
Did
let you post it and everything.
did I tell you about the, wait, what is that thing called? Not the Bangkok.
What?
The mukbang.
Oh, whoa. Okay.
The
Yeah.
I was about to say something else, but I realized quickly it wasn't what I was about
Good
to say.
job.
But, yeah, I wanna do, like, a mukbang
Hmm.
of, like I think I told you this, so, like, sardines, Viennas, potted meat, Spam, oysters, all that stuff. I wanna do, like, a mukbang of that.
Whew, goodness. Are you gonna do a follow-up the next day? On how on the aftermath?
What's gonna be wrong? I like those things.
Oh man, it just seemed like a bad combination of food stuff.
I saw somebody posted on, Facebook, it was, like, a whole shelf full of Viennas, and it was, like, regardless of what kind of pandemic we have, nobody's gonna eat the Viennas, and the person that reposted was like, I eat Viennas." I was like, "Shoot, me too." I like the
What?
ones with
People eat
barbecue sauce.
Viennas when the economy is great and the stock
Yes,
market is booming? What they talking about?
yes, but they don't know what they're talking about. I saw some fried ones too, but I don't think those are real. But anyway, back to the topic.
I've heard of people frying them before. But speaking of hyenas, man, Evil White, rest her soul, boy, that was her thing when we used to go fishing. I never seen one potty meat, but hyenas and sardines, she be good. And those sodas in that cooler that never stayed cold. I don't know where the ice went to in those coolers. I don't even know if there's ever ice in there, but I don't think there's any ice in there. But
Did she
anyways,
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, no, like, did she eat, like, the regular sardines, or was it, like, the sardines with mustard, sardines with hot sauce? You know, they have
they were
those.
the sardines that are in the hot sauce. That's the one she used to get. In the little tin, you used to pull them back and get some crackers.
A woman
And
after
that's how
my own heart.
man, that's what her thing. And that's why we had to stay out there for hours and hours because well, she was in a hurry to go for. She was fishing. It was peaceful. She had her meals. She was with her family. And who gonna tell her it's time to go? Nobody would tell her it was time to go. So it was all on her. So if I went out there, I knew I needed to be prepared to stay out there till sunset, and just if we left a few hours before that, cool. But I need to be prepared to stay there.
I get that.
But yeah, but shout
But,
out to my grandmama. I miss her so much. But shout out to her.
shout out to you. But, yeah, so, back to the social distancing. It hasn't been an issue for me. Um, I used to be one of those people that would like to be out all the time, and then whenever I hurt excuse me, hurt my ankle and, like, I wasn't really mobile, I became a homebody. But I think that so I came to my parents' house because I was like, I don't know, I feel like well, number 1, I'm working on myself, so I wanted to, like, detox and, just be able to, like, clear my mind, and I feel like I can do that better here in the country than in the city because here it's like just walk outside, you can lay in the grass, like, I did the exercise bike, outside, but, like,
Mhm.
listening to the birds chirp and stuff was just it's very therapeutic. So, I decided to spend this quarantine time here because it's just I don't know, it's more space, I feel like it's more to do. If I get bored, I can ride my bike, ride ATVs, whatever, go fishing, whatever, so it hasn't really bothered me. Um, with my friends, I mean, Me and a lot of my friends FaceTime, like, prior to this, so we still FaceTime now. I won't be able to see Reg face to face,
Yeah.
so I can mush him in the face.
I'll
But
pull up. Ain't no thing. I'll pull up.
we go to
But
oh, no, we can't go to Jalisco's. We can't do that, not right now. The corona.
yeah. Now I'll say that that has been this past week and is going to be a bit of a struggle for me. I hadn't even hit up my favorite Mexican restaurant to see if they doing pickup orders or what. But this queso, this oh my gosh,
Friend,
I'm
okay,
suffering
so
from withdrawals.
no, listen, you need to go to the store. They have the case remember the queso that I bought? I think we had it
Well, I
recently.
mean, if I go to the store, I'm gonna get stuff to make my own. That's something
Yeah,
I'm
but
gonna do. I'm gonna do pretty soon.
you
Um,
make like Rotel or make like queso?
I'm gonna come up with my own
Okay,
special recipe.
okay,
Yeah, it's
okay.
gonna be. I'm gonna feature it on my blog and everything. That's something I want to do. But if I go to the store, yeah, like for right now, I may just get some case. I mean, some Rotel because I did think about doing that.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean but I do miss my Guana Grill, my El Cazador. I'm glad I was able to go when I was visiting you last weekend. Oh, but yeah, that's the struggle for me right now.
We go to Los Bravos? We didn't go to Los Bravos or
We
Timmy. What
didn't,
did we
we
eat? Oh, we
didn't.
cooked. Did we go out
Yeah,
to eat any?
we went to I don't know, El Dorado or something,
Oh, yeah, with the street
and that
tacos.
was good, and that
Yeah,
was good. But
yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
that's gonna be my struggle doing
Yeah.
that. And then also, one thing that's just been on my mind is like how spring break is gonna work. Like, what's gonna be, because my son's out of school right now, so I even thought about like getting him and my mom up here, um, like now. But then it's also like, life is a bit simpler down there, so maybe I'll just go down there instead of having them come up here. Which I prefer to have them up here because that's we be living up here now, and plus get in away from home because I wanted to truly be a spring break for him where he's in a different city. So, um,
But yeah, so okay, we're running short on time, so I do wanna mention a couple of things, as far as, like, things that you can do while you are in this self-quarantine or going through this process of social distancing. One thing that I think is really cool is the Netflix parties. Have you heard of that?
yeah, I did that years ago, so I think this is really gonna come into play. Yeah.
So, if you're not familiar, you can Google it, or we'll maybe find a link and put it in the show notes, but you can invite your friends to watch a Netflix movie with you or Netflix movies with you. I think it has, like, a chat so you guys can chat. I think that's really cool. A lot of artists are doing concerts on, like, Live and Facebook Live, Instagram Live, stuff like that. I think that's cool. People are having happy hours via, like, FaceTime and stuff like that, so that's cool. If you have any projects that you wanna work on, like for me, I'm working on a couple of business projects, working on my scripts and stuff like that. Um, Also, one of the most important things to me is just relax, because I know that this can be a stressful time, especially if you're out of work, but take a moment and just breathe and relax and just take a day. Like, if you wanna sleep in because, like, a lot of people aren't used to doing that because they don't have that time. We're often pressed for time a lot. So do give yourself the opportunity to just relax. That's all I got.
Shout out to you. I like that. I like that.
Yay.
I like that.
Yay.
Go you.
Thank
Imma give you your
you.
props on that. Shout out to
Thank
you.
you.
2 points to your team.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Stop
On
it.
on that note
No, don't
I
stop.
think
Keep
we just gonna
going.
go ahead.
Keep
We're gonna
going.
go to silly. Hey, we're gonna close it out right here. That was a good fit. All right.
Thank
So
you,
in
friend.
closing, y'all, as always,
You
thank
know, make
y'all
a
for
chocolate girl
listening.
blush.
Oh boy. I love to do that. I love me some chocolate women. I love all women, but anyway. But anyways, moving on. I can't never. Y'all pray for me. I'm trying to.
I'm so
This is just who I am. This is just
friend,
who I
I'm really
am.
looking forward to doing, like, live shows,
It's
live
gonna be
recordings. It's
fun.
gonna be lots of fun.
I'm gonna start working on that because like in the social distancing era, like we can just go ahead and put that together pretty soon.
Yeah.
And we'll figure out how to do that. Whether that be on Facebook or whatever. We can definitely find a way to do that. Of course, we can you know take advantage of OBS software and set it up. So that's gonna be that's gonna be on my to-do list for this week because I think it would be great, especially at times like this. So
Yeah.
look out for that. Look for that to come pretty soon. But as always, in closing, thank y'all for listening. Website dubsquarepodcast.com. You can follow us on the socials at dubsquarepod. You can check out Trina at ATWash101. See, got
Yes,
that right this
I
week.
was ready.
And you can check me out as Reggie is who on the socials and whoisreggie.com. So just flip that, you know. But I've enjoyed this. It's good. I look forward to this every week. It's
So
just
do I.
kind of it's really this is really the beginning of my week. Even though we're doing a bit of a wrap up of the previous week, this is like the beginning and really way to hit it with momentum.
Mhm.
Thank y'all for listening.
And we really want you guys to get involved. We want you guys start sending us feedback, like what you wanna hear on the show. If you have any ideas for the live show, what you like to see or hear, just we wanna hear from you guys. Tell us what you guys like, maybe we can figure out how to talk about that, but we really want to be involved with our listeners. Thank you guys. Like, we love you for listening, we appreciate you for listening, but we really wanna get involved with you as well.
Yeah, this whole thing was really about extending the conversation. So, of course, every week it's us, and this was born from conversations we've had. But one of our goals was to extend this conversation and really build a community surrounding this podcast and really, meet a lot of new folks, get closer to some old folks, just have great conversations, learn a thing or two here and there. So, but yeah, that's another one in the books. Episode 7 is done, and we will see y'all in the next one. Catch y'all later. Peace.
Bye.